Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Its Axon's run from Naic. Its Axon's obviously an extraordinary battler. Before the play Pokemon scene was known as, I think it was season 9 or 10, the first expert, and then as well extraordinary at GBL. Is also part of a faction, but in his first play Pokemon tournament, he actually tied for fifth. I eliminated him in the day two, and I was very fortunate to be able to beat him because obviously extremely skilled battler. He also had a pretty nice team against mine. We're gonna take a look at his NAIC run, and I think a lot of people, it's up for debate. A lot of people would say that Its Axon is the one to beat from NA. So NA standing for North America, extremely strong battler. Obviously, if you perform top 5 in one tournament and then win the other, it's like you've shown a lot of consistency in your gameplay. So let's go ahead and we're only gonna look at day two because I think there's only like 2 or 3 battles from day one, and obviously the day 2 battles are a little bit higher stakes. So he is on the winner's side, swept through his group with honestly pretty much ease. So let's go ahead and get started. This is at 1.5 speed, so it is going to be a little bit high pitch.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about though, I know we saw a lot more Lickitung in Milwaukee, and we saw it here in Columbus as well.
And he's going against Andrew from Mexico, an extremely strong battler. These are probably the 2 of the most technical battlers in the tournament.
Relying on it a lot, but I don't think you can bring it that much into this Surf Edge. But you do have those neutral body slams, and Surf Edge really can't take any damage. So if you ever build up to those body slams, like we've seen Its Axon do, and swap out, bank it for more.
And tell me who you think won the plushie game. That's like probably the most important thing in these battles. I gotta let me know what plushie I should bring. Oh, Its Axon doesn't have a plushie?
We'd love to see a Porygon in one of these tournaments, but I think we're gonna have to wait quite a while for that one.
Yeah, just like Registeel has the lock on and the Zapcan. So
Ahmed is oh, he does. Okay. Oh no, or is that Alpha Phoebes?
Yeah, I think that might be.
Okay, no plushie on a Its Axon game, so we'll go 1-0 for Andrew.
These tournaments here too. Yeah, you know, again, looking at these teams too, it definitely looks like it's going to be kind of an interesting matchup back and forth.
I also met Its Axon's mom at Indy and in NAIC. Very sweet lady.
Quite a bit of work, even against Registeels, even though Registeel is going to resist all those body slams and has super effective focus blast and hard hitting Zapkins for it. It's just that the cumulative damage.
So, like Medi, it looks like okay here. Can certainly have play, but Andrew also has like the Surf Edge, which I think is pretty nice too.
The Sableye is then so safe. You could say swap it against everything else on Its Axon's team. So maybe some kind of Surf Edge Sableye core might be really good for Andrew here.
Yeah, and you know, I think if I'm Its Axon here, even though Lickitung is weak to those fighting types in counter, you can still feel comfortable bringing it. And as we see here right now, very comfortable bringing it. It is a Surf Edge with the Lickitung. It's a great lead for Andrew.
Yeah, catching that Lickitung straight away. Say swapping in the Nidoqueen, met by the wall ring here, the shiny version, and these poison things are going to be coming out straight away. But this isn't going to
Yeah, so I watched this live. This was very weird play by Andrew. So Andrew definitely should have won this game. Does get the deny, which is pretty nice. But Its Axon's just gonna 2-shield this matchup. Does go for the CMP tie. Actually chooses to let this go, and doesn't actually survive. I don't know, was expecting if it was going to survive or not, but that ended up being very problematic because would have been actually be able to hard counter this team. Goes for the CMP tie, which is a very nice play, but this oh man, this is pretty rough here. Gonna go for the bait. I think you just go straight Leaf Blade here, but yeah, like 2 Leaf Blades here would have allowed the Surf Edge to counter down. Yeah, and would have been able to get a little bit more damage off on the Lickitung. In exchange for a little bit of energy, but the energy is not that big a deal, to be honest. It's mostly lick damage. Power Up obviously does a tremendous amount, and then Its Axon does a really nice job at no shielding there, realizing it's not the return. Gonna let this go.
might just be able to go straight body slam. You just keep body slamming away.
And gets a
Here comes the
huge
first one.
deny there.
The shield from Andrew in,
And
like
we
said,
do
T5
see a
is so
body
low here,
slam
even
come
the
through.
double resistant body slam is going to do a decent amount of damage, and you have to get the 2 more foul plays before the 2 body slams, but Lickitung's just at 2 body slams.
Yeah, and we actually saw a pretty incredible no-shield from its accent there. If that was a return on the second charge against Lickitung, it would have probably won Andrew the match. But Andrew, its accent making the call that it's just
And then
a
making
foul play here.
the
And now
power
let's get
whip.
to that
The body
beautiful
slam
power
wouldn't
whip
have KO'd
to
there,
finish
but
off this
would have
save
been
play.
able, would have probably been able to lick down. So its accent making a really nice play there.
Finals.
Using the Needle Queen safe switch. Honestly, Needle Queen, Shadow Needle Queen versus Shadow Wall Rain, especially if Needle Queen has an energy advantage, is very problematic. And its accent flipping the switch there, recognizing Shadow Needle Queen is quite strong there. Andrew made the right call in the sense that, like, predicting that there's gonna, like, going the wall rain to make it avoid definitely the Medi in the back, but ended up not working out there.
I have to agree. You need to go for alignment there, because when you see the lead of Lickitung, you know there's probably 2 things to protect it in the back. And the only things that can protect it in the back are the Medicham, the Shadow Nidoqueen, and the Sableye. And even if it is the Sableye, you don't have a great matchup if you lose alignment with the Surf Edge. So you need that hard alignment. You need to probably protect shield. It feels really bad.
Yeah,
shield
no,
up
I
everything,
agree.
because it's
I
just
agree
something that
with,
debuffs you. So it's like, I don't want to shield this and then like be inefficient.
Maybe
But
Andrew was thinking that it was going to be Sableye in the back, and that Sableye is not the worst matchup, but also going for the Night Slash over the Leaf Blade was, in my opinion, a questionable play, but because it would have been able to get like 2 or 3 counters off on the Lickitung, and honestly, those 2 or 3 counters do a tremendous amount of damage. So,
yeah, and you mentioned that Medicham versus
and it's actually probably would have thrown the move if we were throwing the Leaf Blade.
It just ends up being enough. So you could bring the Registeel and the Surf Edge, so Lickitung has literally nowhere to go. But Lickitung did find a matchup here because it is the golden Lickitung versus this purple wall.
Alright, so this is a favorable matchup for Lickitung. So
Andrew here. Andrew does not really want to swap right away here, because that Sableye is going to struggle if he swaps out the wall ring here and has the Lickitung matchup against it. It's actually going straight for the super effective power whip, and we get a big shield from Andrew here. Now, if you look at Andrew's side, that Sableye again having a lot of play against the backline, and I think that's where
yeah, like Lickitung can win this matchup pretty easily. Straight power whip.
Yeah, and this Lickitung, or its accent's actually just running the same exact team back. And here comes the message. And if you're wall ring, you can
but this
Sableye
is very problematic in the back, so
this is a crucial bait coming up. Are you gonna go straight for power whip? Looks like trying to
okay.
swap on a power whip, maybe a little bit too early. Aggressive
Not
by the Surf Edge once again.
Oh, and this is crucial here too, because the Medicham has much less play against the
I'm not sure. Again, this Night Slash here, I don't really love here.
Set it up perfectly here, and putting down the we get the attack boost.
Oh, I don't know if this is gonna change anything. I don't know if you just want to let the Surf Edge go. Most of the times when you get boosted, you want to keep it alive. You do not keep it alive, because the next poison jab is gonna knock out that Surf Edge, and now you're gonna be able to come with the wall rain. Wall rain has a little bit of energy, should be able to knock out this Nidoqueen.
Yeah, you know, and I think great discipline from Andrew there. A lot of players like to shield up after getting the boost there, but sometimes it's worth to save.
I would have came Sableye here, to be honest, but
against the Pokemon that Assassin has, and here comes the Medicham able to burn some of the switch timer here with
and Andrew realizing that this switch is going to be end up being pretty costly here.
Any second now, swapping into it as soon as you can, but now you have to get through the rest of this Lickitung, and Assassin is gonna invest in protect shields to keep this Lickitung alive.
Yeah, Assassin going straight for the power whip here, going for no baits here. Let's see if Andrew calls it too.
Gets a huge shield, but should be able to make it to another one because the foul play won't KO. Good timing, but this doesn't. Oh, gonna shield. Okay. I guess was worried about the return and wanted to guarantee damage off. But now you get to, if you're Andrew, you have to farm up quite a bit, and then throw the foul play. Yeah, good timing. Should be enough.
Countered the wall ring quite a bit before swapping out because of the mistimed switch timers here.
You need 2 more Shadow Claws, but the Ice Punch is available, but does not throw it. Does not throw the Ice Punch, so the Sableye.
But this doesn't KO. This is only neutral. It does about 40%.
That's so decisive, and okay, so it was not.
And it's Axon making an absolutely beautiful calculation there, realizing just counter down. Really needs a psychic there to KO. But Andrew making like was definitely nervous, I would say. This is very uncharacteristic of Andrew. You'll see later on he played much better, and honestly a very formidable opponent. Like if you get him early, that's probably your best case scenario. If you see Andrew later in the tournament, like good luck, absolutely good luck, because after this battle he was absolutely terrorizing the competition. So it's actually picking up a very nice 2-0 and automatically qualifying for Worlds, because automatically is in the top 4 at this point in time, and obviously now fighting for a travel reward. In the winners final against Zygomatic, who's from Muddy Water, aka Doombugs Locals.
Talking about team building in particular, you
And
talk about how they're approaching this
again,
matchup.
Ziggo picking up the early win with the Gumi over its Accent's no plushie game.
I'm wondering how these two are going to pair off against each other. I don't think you can bring Lickitung in this matchup because of how scary that Scrafty is.
Exactly right. The Scrafty is really going to give Lickitung a tough time. We've seen its Accent reach for that Lickitung in decisive moments. Let's see if he does that as well. We're queuing into game one. Let's get excited. We have a matchup on our hands. Scrafty meets that Shadow Walrein on the field.
Oh man.
All right, well,
Okay.
I can only imagine this Walrein is not going to be sticking around long. Swampert into the Trevenant now. Trevenant going to have the type advantage with those
And
seed bombs, but
this
first
is
forces into
just
Hydro
straight
Cannon,
hard
which,
counter.
while it won't be very effective, is still going to be doing
I do
a
expect
ton
this
of
Trevenant
damage
to throw
that
4 then
Pokemon.
throw.
This is why
1,
Swampert was one of our
2,
today's spotlight
3.
Pokemon. Its
We're gonna do
ability to
3
hit the
just in
Hydro Cannon
case
so quickly
they
is just so decisive.
miscounted.
Here comes the seed bomb, and this is an uphill battle for the Swampert. So
I like
its
that play.
Accent is cutting
And then
its
probably
losses
gonna do
here, letting
5 then
Swampert
throw.
save that Protect Shield.
Gonna try CMP
play.
tie,
I don't
but
think Swampert would've been
this
able to win
Walrein's
this
gonna
matchup even with the
try to
use
farm
of the
down.
Protect Shield. So saving them for later gives the Walrein and
Yeah.
the Nido Queen in the
You can do
back party
oh,
the
can do
best
4
chance
then
at
throw.
success. That being
Does
said,
get the
Trevenant
deny.
finding a second seed bomb before the Shadow Walrein can find an Icicle Sphere, but no Protect Shields yet. That does so much damage.
Yeah, that super effective damage really piles on because that
Okay, I don't like
Shadow
that play there.
variant of the
Was
Walrein,
maybe
that
worried
pretty
about
good
getting the
looking as
farm
well.
down,
You see the
but
Icicle
I
Sphere
think
come
you
through.
need
This
to
is
take
more than
another
enough to kill the
one.
Trevenant, but the question is, can Walrein reach another attack? No, switching for the Nido Queen.
This
We
is
do see a counter swap
definitely,
into the Swampert. The ground types are on the field, Gabby, but Swampert has a distinct advantage here.
That
I'm just gonna go
happens
straight Poison
so
Fang. Gonna try
quickly.
to
Nido
2
Queen
shield way
barely
through.
making
This
the
is a
Scrafty barely making the interference, and then that Swampert
Shadow
takes place. It's not
Swampert,
gonna be taking
and
a
actually
lot of
did
damage from
quite
those
a bit of
Poison Fangs,
damage,
but those defensive
but
drops will start adding
difference
up.
between
And like
Swampert
how
and
Zigamatic
Walrein
has the two
is
Hydro Cannons already charged up on
one
this Swampert should be
Swampert
able to fire them back to
resists
back.
the
First one gets
poison
caught by a
moves,
Protect
right?
Shield,
So
and second one possibly getting caught as well, but first another Poison Fang from Nido Queen.
Now this is Shadow Nido Queen in the perfect environment. It's just going to whittle away.
and as
even its
well,
range
Ziggo
defense
was
and
much
use the
faster to
poison
switch
jabs to
out
pile on damage
than
onto the Swampert. The question is, I think one more Hydro
than,
Cannon is needed after this. This is a pivotal moment in the match.
than Andrew.
Let's see what happens here. One more poison jab. Oh, it's a
Oh, it
CMP.
finds it! It finds it!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that was so close, but Shadow Swampert having the higher attack stack will be able to use its charge
Yeah,
move
it
first
didn't
and
really
get
matter,
that
to be
knockout
honest.
onto the Shadow Nido Queen.
And we're gonna
Scrafty
see the
back out
counter
on the
down.
field, picking up the KO on Shadow
I think we
Walrein,
need
and
to see
game
the
one of winners
Walrein
finals
farm
goes
down
to
the
Zigamatic.
Trev, try to get a shield
A little
advantage.
bit of respect as it counters down to that
Even the
Walrein.
shield advantage
Very
didn't
tough
really matter
Pokemon
because
matchup with
the
Accent
Swampert
swapping
didn't
in
end
there.
up using the
Just
shield,
Trevenant
but
very uphill throughout
you
the
need to
entire
put
match.
pressure
Still incredibly close.
onto
Triggered that CMP tie that
onto the
goes through the
Scrafty or
Walrein.
onto the
Both of
opponent
those
some
top
way.
attacks are triggered on the same exact turn. Whichever trainer has trained their Pokemon to have a higher attack stat has the liberty of going first. And we
Typically do have that.
see that the
All
Lickitung.
right, let's speed this up a
Finals,
little bit here.
Shadow Swampert versus Swampert leads, and already no switches. These Swampert happy to bank some energy for later on in this match.
And you're going to see these
Oh
Hydro
man,
Cannons
these
really
Hydros
just pack a
do
punch
so
into
much
these Swampert.
damage.
Gather
Does get
some
the
energy,
extra
go ahead
move
and fire
through.
first. It's Accent wanting to strike here against the Shadow
And
Swampert. You'll see a lot
Ziggo's
of
probably
damage
going
to
to
the
throw
Shadow.
right
Difference
away.
is 20%
Try to get the
can
deny.
split,
Didn't get the
especially in a matchup
deny.
like this one.
Yeah, and it's such a tough call here because they've already taken a little bit of chip damage, and Hydro Cannon is almost a KO as it is onto Swampert. So these shields almost forced, and I think the biggest question is whether or not
Oh,
they're
okay.
going to use
It's
both
Accent
of the lead, but
recognizing
it's
and loses
Accent not
CMP.
opting to use the second shield here. This Hydro Cannon connects and just barely misses that KO.
Oh my goodness, that Hydro Cannon is so impactful. But here comes another one from its Accent. Does Zygomatic follow suit? No, he's going to 2 shield. I think that we're going to see a mud shot through the rest of the Swampert's HP, and he gets there with just 3.
So one trainer lost all their shields, the other trainer lost their first Pokemon. It does make you wonder who has the advantage right now, as Walrein will be facing off against Talonflame.
Now this is interesting, right? Switching to the Talonflame, trying to pull out that third Pokemon, but its Accent not willing to take the bait. Gonna go ahead and throw an Icicle Spear here. We know Talonflame has no Protect Shield. It's not known as being one of the bulkier Pokemon in the Open Great League, so it does take a lot of damage there. Here comes the first.
And its
attack.
Accent making
It's
a
gonna Great Burn
huge
Flame Charge.
call
What does its Accent decide to do?
by no shielding.
Great call there on that Flame Charge.
Yeah, that attack boost though will help this Talonflame pick up the knockout on this Shadow Walrein, and just a couple
And a
more
really
fast
nice
moves, but
timing.
unable to find those prior to the Icicle Sphere on the Walrein. Will be picking
Really,
up that
really
knockout,
nice
but
timing.
seems like a great opportunity for this Registeel to come
You
in
gotta
and
wait
maybe
the
get some
clock out.
energy and start charging up those Zap Cannons.
The problem here, Gabby, is that both of these Pokemon are charge move oriented. Those fast attacks don't do any damage, so he's forced to send in the
Oh,
Swampert here
that's
and
very
roll the
bad
dice
here.
on what its Accent's third Pokemon might be. We see the
That's
Icicle
really
Sphere
bad
through
here. This is game
Look
over.
at
It's
that
Accent
damage.
definitely.
The Swampert is off the field, reaching for the swap. Here comes the Registeel versus the Nido Queen.
This is GG.
is not unwinnable.
In this situation, you should Poison Fang then Earth Power. You actually lose the 0-2 Registeel if you go straight Earth Power, because the Earth Power, you'll see here, like the Earth Power does like 80% or whatever it is, but the Poison Jabs do basically do nothing, right? So Poison Fang plus Earth Power would definitely KO. Poison Fang now doesn't KO, so and the Registeel just barely outpaces to Focus Blast, so.
But Earth Power is all that's needed to clean up and tie the score 1-1 in this best of 5 winners finals.
And they're both taking notes right now, or at least its Accent's taking notes, which I think is very important. Oh, it looks like I don't think Ziggo's taking any notes. But taking notes is really important, especially in a long battle. This is a best of 5 matchup.
And it goes to show just how important alignment is overall in these matchups. You know, we saw, I think, Zygomatic have great alignment in that game 1 with the Shadow Swampert in particular, and now in game 2, it's Accent, again, gets that alignment. The Shadow Nido Queen is just able to clean up versus that Registeel.
Yeah,
And
if
going into game
Ziggo,
3, you have to
really
wonder,
nice call
how do I sort of
from,
force my opponent to get the alignment that's more favorable to me?
yeah,
I
really
saw
nice call from
Zygomatic, I
its
think,
Accent side, no shielding the flame charge. Obviously, the Brave Bird would come through. Then the Nidoqueen would farm down. It'd still have a shield, But Swampert would have been able to clean up the team in the back then. So it was a very risky call on its acting side, but so you gotta take risks to try to win these tournaments, right? So
there is that the Nidoqueen would probably defeat the Talonflame, especially if a Protect Shield was invested. Then that Shadow Swampert would gain alignment against the Nidoqueen and make things really team of 3.
Or do I just try and fake 3? We still got a couple of games before the set wraps up, and there's the Lickitung versus the Shadow Swampert. So already,
it's obviously a very good matchup for.
Into battle.
I really like this call by It's Axin. We talked about that Scrafty and the Registeel combination being very tough for the Lickitung, but he still brings it against all the odds, and it finds the Shadow Swampert. Now, surprisingly, unless this Lickitung can find a way to land 2 body slams or a power whip, the Shadow Swampert can't get the better of it. So we do see it build a lot of energy.
Yeah, so I didn't like that play by Zigo.
And it looks like honestly the Shadow Swampert would be able to find a third. It's insane at how quickly it's
gonna try to I don't know. It's actually really wants to win switch here, predicting a Trev in the back. So else why would you say? Try to catch the body slam. Wow, okay, really nice call from It's Axin side, not going Nidoqueen into the Reggie, which is what a lot of people would do.
Does have a bit of a choice here. You know, do I go for the Hydro Cannon and try and bait out one of those shields, or do I go for the
and
Earthquake?
this EQ should be enough.
Forgoes the shield, and that's a knockout.
Wow, huge Earthquake coming through there from the Swampert. It kind of roars a little bit there on the opposing side of the field. It's very satisfied with that attack there. Yeah, very interesting, right? Because now you're loaded up with energy.
Okay, yeah, I don't like this play, but
that Hydro Cannon will be a knockout if it's allowed to connect. But
gonna have to farm a little bit here.
Will find a second Hydro Cannon, I think, taking the opportunity.
Okay, good did one more, then through.
Knowing that after you use a Hydro Cannon, it's usually
gonna have to switch out right away.
So there's the knockout there, and looks like we're seeing Zigamatic.
And man, It's Axin just so patient here, realizing that the Swampert doesn't have moves, so no need to throw the body slam right away. And It's Axin just showing world-class gameplay here. No, just barely missing out. And then this is game over here. This is probably close to KOing.
Found in game 2, finding it again in game 3,
Yeah.
and without a Talonflame to really draw out that Nidoqueen earlier, Zigamatic
really nice job. It's Axin's just playing out of his mind. He's gonna be dangerous, right? Like I would not be surprised to see him take it all at Worlds, especially on form. I think in Indy he was like a little bit nervous playing on stream. He obviously eliminated Party Marty, a very strong battler. That's the teammate of Zigos, but he's really coming into form in this tournament. So oh, that's a very bad lead. Okay, so this is a playable matchup.
As one of the best fighting type Pokemon in the Open Great League. You see the Walrein striking first here. Now the tough aspect of this matchup here is that the Shadow Walrein can just go for straight Icicle Spears, but the Swampert needs to land an Earthquake to deal meaningful damage. So we do see it build up that much energy and then throw the Hydro Cannon.
And EQ would basically KO.
Special things like that if he wants to get back into this matchup.
And you can see that he's going for the Earthquake. It looks like waiting for that to charge. Will have
you gotta shield this, right?
First. I don't think it's gonna get the knockout. No shield.
Okay.
So Zigamatic clearly agrees, and Swampert just has a
man,
sliver of
and
health left,
game that denied there was really huge because
Axin recognizing that no shield.
We both had to lean in there, maybe put on our reading glasses to see the HP remaining there. What a critical calculation by Zigamatic, knowing he could reach that final Hydro Cannon. But this is tough because he was unable to defeat the Walrein. 60-second switch timers means that the Medicham is likely going to find the Scrafty again. So how can Zigamatic manipulate his energy to try to find a way out of this negative matchup?
I like how Axin did not go for the immediate switch here, and instead just letting that Walrein get knocked out while getting a little bit of chip down thanks to that Icicle Sphere on Scrafty. Now, yes, you will see the Medicham come in, you will see the Trevenant come in, and now you'll see that
this is
Nidoqueen.
very bad here.
Scrafty has already taken enough damage. That Medicham, provided it's able to get to an Ice Punch, should be able to pick up that KO.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And we see these trainers make a lot of productive reasoning as they go through that 10-second countdown when selecting new Pokemon. A lot of it feels like muscle memory. It happens so quickly. You look at the opponent's team.
And then should be able to reach the Seed Bomb here, but this doesn't matter.
Seed Bomb will be blocked by the Protect Shield, and it looks like Axin is
a pretty big deny, honestly though, because it would have been forced to shield, right, or give up switch, and either would have been pretty problematic. Obviously, it's got let's go. There's no choice here. Okay, gonna shield there, but this really doesn't make any difference at all.
Scrafty working uphill and is able to counter down the Nidoqueen, but the problem here is that these counters deal super effective damage.
It does get a deny. So I prefer how the new system is right now. 2 foul plays doesn't count, so this really doesn't matter here. And X Axin is gonna go to the grand final and make top 2 and guaranteed travel reward. Obviously, extremely well deserved.
Congratulations to Axin, your first grand finalist here at the North American International Championship.
Leandro and Ilya in the back judging those two, make sure there's no shenanigans happening. All right, we're gonna go to a best of 5 versus Andrew. This is a rematch from earlier in the day. And obviously, Ace Axon took a 2-0, so
comfortable losing a first
I'm not sure. Like, obviously, a little bit psychological play on both sides, right? You feel confident if you're It's Axon, but Andrew's been tearing it up against the competition leading up to a rematch. So
Chance you have versus Azumarill are the leads, but an instant swap into wall rain and a response of the Lickitung.
Now that instantaneous swap tells us that he was uncomfortable in the opening matchup, but also potentially trying to pull a Pokemon out, maybe looking for a counter user here, but gets met by the Lickitung. This is a great place
so
for
we'll
Lickitung to
see
go as well,
here,
that
because
third Pokemon
last
back
time
for
Andrew
is the
shielded
Surfetch,
the
which is
Power
a
Whip,
type
so we
Pokemon.
see a
The first
bait
charged attack from this Lickitung will be a
from
body
It's
slam.
Axon.
Now,
Remembering in
Power
game
Whip
one
is
that
great
he
damage,
did
getting
shield
one more
the
shield from Andrew as a
first
result.
move.
It looks like Andrew is building up to a possible Earthquake bait, opting for the Icicle Sphere, and Axon not falling for it, not shielding, will be taking
Should be able
damage,
to
but
grab a
Lickitung still
shield
able to stick
back.
around.
Lickitung again known for its bulk and HP, but oh my
Very
goodness,
good
Andrew
timing.
is trying to apply pressure here, trying to draw away Protect Shield. It's Axon will give him that liberty.
We'll
to
see
play
whether or
Protect Shield,
not
trying to another charge attack, because Lickitung has so much
It's Axon's
energy
gonna
going,
go
let it
for
all
the
go to
bait.
waste.
Is gonna go for
Especially
the
that
bait
Axon
again.
can fake a Power Whip here, going for the body slam. Again,
Power Whip
attack that
probably would
costs
just
least
barely
amount
knock
of energy,
KO,
forcing
but
Andrew
does
to
get
use
the
his last shield
2
here, I
baits
think
here,
is
which is
huge,
absolutely
because now you
huge.
know that these attacks will connect, and you can figure out, okay, Shadow Nidoqueen and Swampert are my backline. Let's
Gonna let
find
it
these matchups,
go.
let's find
Okay,
those charge
this
moves,
is
and
a
pick
nice
those
play
knockouts, as
by.
Lickitung will be KO'd by an Icicle Sphere.
Well, you're exactly right.
Oh
He's trying
man,
to apply
okay,
pressure,
I'm not
and
sure
then
about
to think
this
that Walrein
play.
could lose its status on the field, and he does draw away the Protect Shield. We see the final shield for its Axon again getting shedded here as well, as he looks to protect from this
These
Icicle Sphere.
these powder
Walrein is a tough
snows
matchup
are
here
doing a
against the
tremendous
Walrein, but
amount of
Poison Bait
damage.
is deadly.
That defense drop will ensure that I think one more fast move attack from that Nidoqueen will be enough for the knockout. If this isn't enough outright, Andrew down to his final 2 Pokemon will have the opportunity to send one in, but switches all around. It is Swampert now versus that Azumarill.
This is so critical because the Azumarill gets to avoid a negative matchup against that Nidoqueen as we see these
We
target
see
attacks
some
get
lag
queued up. We see
here,
the
but
Earthquake
it
come
didn't
through
look
here
like
from
it
the
impacted the
Swampert on the left
game.
side.
You
No
just see the
Sludge
EQ
Wave
come
from the
through,
Swampert
but
still
only
gives
2
audience steal
EQs.
effective damage,
If
but
this was a
still
Shadow
Titan Attack
Swamper,
bonus
then you
matchup
wouldn't need
punch.
2
And that
EQs.
Azumarill is going to charge up its attack so
I think like
strongly.
2
It's
Ice
likely
Beams
the
is enough
Swampert
here.
will find a second Earthquake,
So I
and
don't
the
think it's
Azumarill is
necessary
able
to
get the
go
knockout. Playbook will
for
connect
2
and will
play
deal a
roughs.
decent
Yeah,
amount of
2
damage, but
Ice
the Swampert
Beams
still being
definitely
around needs to confine
the
3
play in my
extra turns to get
opinion.
that Earthquake, but Axon getting a little greedy here.
Axon reaching right for that charge move priority, triggering that.
Technically,
Earthquake
like
could secure
if
the KO.
they
This is so
swap a
critical
good
as well, because
timing,
the Swampert might have
then
enough energy to get to the Hydro Cannon. Can it get there? Yes!
Oh, it got there.
This is a critical one-mud shot Hydro Cannon, going to deploy all kinds of
but
damage on
this
the
this
Sableye. And the question is, guys,
this
can that
Nidoqueen
reach
doesn't
and
have
Earth Power to
enough
secure the knockout and
energy,
finish the
right?
job?
So
It does have a little bit of energy available, but instead Axon trying to force charge move
yeah,
priority
and
event
this
with
this
that
should be
poison
enough
bait into
to
the
KO
foul
the
play.
Shadow
Andrew winning the
Nidoqueen.
event, going for the attack and getting that knockout
And then we
onto
see the Shadow
Nidoqueen.
Claw
That
down.
Swampert is
So
right
really,
behind him.
there, like
Absolutely
Andrew
Sableye
controlling the
there
switch
for Andrew,
there.
again, taking out 2 Pokemon there in the
It's
final
actually
moments.
really
I
didn't
don't think
have
Sableye's able to hold a broom, but it was able to sweep
like a
that back
great
there.
counter
You know, I think you
like
just gotta find the right
to the
size
wall
for him, and
rain
they clearly
afterwards.
can
So
make it work out.
I think you
Absolutely.
have to
If someone has
shield
a 2
there.
press, they can hand to Sableye.
There
Really
you go.
appreciate it.
Put it a
Yeah,
little
you
bit
get
lower.
Sableye
Like if
going.
Nidoqueen has
But in terms
energy,
of
then you're
competition, I
like
think
pretty
it's Axon
okay
being a
there.
lot more
But
recognizing the Azumarill was going to take a while to get to that next charge attack, triggering that Earthquake on the CMP event,
and
then
then
reaching for the
double
Hydro
Ice
Cannon.
Beam is
I think
definitely
Axon
the way
tried
to
to do all
go.
the
No
right
need to go
things
double
towards the
player
end,
off.
but it just wasn't.
Against it. It is a
And
dual
like
Pokemon, and does get access to
if
some
you
pretty, tough type
if you get a
coverage.
move and deny,
I don't know.
then you can
I think
outpace.
it's a counter
So
for these trainers. Azumarill hits the field and faces Medicham.
Another classic Great League matchup.
all right,
These
so
two
obviously
Pokemon
a
out
good
on the field,
matchup
and
for.
already the Swampert taking that Medicham spot, probably trying to stick around a little bit later for a more favorable matchup. Now, the interesting thing about Swampert here is this is an amazing opportunity for it to get energy to charge up those Hydro Cannons. Will take a shield away from Axon to block this player up, but still, I think Swampert is definitely in the commanding position right now.
I believe so as well, and we saw a very interesting thing, a micro moment here as the
Okay,
Earthquake is
gonna.
used. Azumarill
It's actually
formed a
not
bubble and then
baiting.
tried to reach for the wall ring to absorb the attack, but it was in the middle of the bubble animation, so he has to wait until the charge attack is ready. Here comes the wall ring. Gonna go in and fire a charge attack here, but look at this Swampert. Higher attack stat gets to go first. And this
Running
is
a triple weak
No shield
to
from Andrew, a
Lickitung,
second
but
Earthquake
Lickitung is
already
not
down,
like
almost into the red.
so
This
amazing
Icicle
versus
Sphere
all
will
3
have the opportunity
Pokemon.
to connect
So
with Swampert as there won't be a shield, but
but
that's not gonna be enough for a
honestly,
knockout,
this
and
this
you gotta
Swampert
wonder,
definitely
is
gets to
Hydro Cannon
Hydro.
just waiting there to be fired to try and pick up that knockout?
This is the Swampert difference. It charges
But you
so
don't
quickly
shield
back to
this.
the Hydro
You don't shield
Cannon,
this,
and
right?
Shadow
I don't
Swampert
think there's a
like
point in
previously
shielding
seen,
this.
so it's able to absorb
Okay,
these
I
attacks,
don't
pull a
like
Protect
the
Shield
shield
away
here. You
from
get
Andrew.
2
Wall
answers
Ring
to
able
Medi,
dominate the matchup, but
and now
it
you
causes
just
quite
give
a bit of
Medi
damage.
energy,
Does have an
and
Icicle
should
Sphere
definitely go
available to
EQ
it,
here.
will use it against this Medicham. No shield from Axon. Looks
Yeah,
like
I
Andrew
didn't
will
love
push
that
for an Earthquake
shield
there,
there,
but is not going to be able to find
because
time
you have
as
2. Oh,
this
okay.
is so
Oh,
close to
that's
that
actually
clutch. Give that
better
Wall Ring
though,
the opportunity for that last
because
hit
now
and
you
be
go
fired with an
Azu into
yeah, that switch really caused a little bit of damage there, allowing that wall rain to get one more attack, and it gets saved in the back of the roster in the back there for Andrew, which means that he can switch it in later and try to absorb a charge attack, but with just 1 or 2 HP, he has to be exactly precise with his timing.
Play rough is the charge move of choice for Azumarill, connecting with this Lickitung. Axen fishing
you
for
just don't
power
shield
win,
this.
going to charge it up a little bit
They're gonna
more
go body
comfortably,
slam.
out that last shield with a body slam, but
Oh,
he's
how's
getting
the
such low health. These charge moves really, it doesn't make a difference which one you pick at this point.
No, body slam is more than enough as Lickitung throws its weight around and secures the KO. As we saw there, all those licks
But
gather
this
so much
is
energy that it really
favorable
sets up
for
Axen to handle the
Andrew,
next matchup, and he does see
but
that
this
stabilize
Lickitung
with
has
these
a
Shadow
lot of
Balls, just
energy.
so much HP in this Licktung's pool, and it's able to withstand
Man,
an
and
attack
his
and
Axon's
really
playing
power
like
here.
mind games
And that
here.
really
Oh,
is the
that's
move of choice,
actually
as it will not be
pretty
resisted
huge
by
there.
Sableye, but Shadow Claw also going to be resisted. Looking like Lickitung is going to find a second Power Whip if Andrew doesn't decide
Very
to throw
good
this Foul Play.
timing.
He will throw it, but
Okay.
it's caught by a shield. Axen down to his final 2 Pokemon, final 2 shields in this game.
As the HP gets lower, the pressure increases, especially when you realize,
Oh,
my goodness,
tried
he
to
tries
catch
to make the switch
there.
on the charge attack, doesn't get it. And look at this. This is so critical because the Lickitung needs to KO the Sableye. Medicham has such a tough matchup. Is this the Power Whip? Does Andrew call attack? And he does!
calls
What
it.
an insane call on that very decisive move. I can't even get all the words out.
I know, it's so exciting here. Lickitung does have enough
See,
energy
if,
for a second
like,
body slam,
if,
but Andrew at such low health,
Andrew-
you cannot take this risk. You shield that, you go for the Foul Play. We see the Medicham switch in. It looks like it's
this
a
does
return
about
from
half.
Sableye. There are no Protect Shields remaining. That is the more powerful charge move for Sableye. Is it going to be enough? Just
Sableye!
barely missing it.
Can he get the KO here as well? Let's see.
It's gotta
Sableye!
be close,
No.
but that's
See,
fast
if, like,
enough to
if
knock out
Andrew
that
would have
Sableye, tying up this
Earthquake.
first set of grand
Okay, I don't think the
finals.
switch was important.
The one-turn fast
End up
attack
getting
is
a Icicle Spirit
striking
off
first
on the
lead
wall
like
ring
second
on
first
Lickitung,
lead
which
in that
was
matchup.
really
Shadow
helpful.
helped with Lickitung.
But,
Able to do that damage was so critical. What an exciting series. It's sometimes these actions happen so fast I can barely keep up. But these
Yeah,
fighters are
not
making it worse.
you got to recognize the
Like
switch is
Tyson
not
is
that
there for
important
things
in that
and
matchup.
I might have missed.
And then
Future Sight, I
as
believe, is
well,
the choice for that, but I don't think we see Future Sight too often in the Great League.
throwing the
Well, he
EQ
does get some play, but no,
would have
not now.
allowed
Not in this matchup, but some play.
Not in this
Andrew
current series.
just
We
to
have Pokemon like
foul
Chris Taylor
play
use Future Sight to great advantage, but
the
sometimes teams
Medicham,
absorb
and
that
then
ability.
potentially
So
would have
as
made
we look at
another
game
foul
three,
play
which trainer is the
versus
strongest fighting type as they try to predict their opponent's teams?
versus the
It's a tough call.
Lickitung
I mean,
there.
I think that
So,
Andrew, it feels like, you know,
but
with
it's
that
Axon
type of
playing
block,
tremendous
he's
mind
able to
games versus
recognize
Andrew.
where he's with
Honestly, it looked like the game was completely
and
over.
accordingly, and that's really the recent match. Shadow Nidoqueen versus the Sableye out on the field.
As a
Obviously,
reminder to everyone listening at home,
tremendous
this might be
lead
a decisive matchup in a best of 3, but this is a best of 5 series. So as things look a little bit tough here for its Axon, this battle has a long way to
Okay.
go. You see the Surfetch finally come out
We're
to
gonna see
play,
the
and he goes for the Night
Surfetch.
Slash, commanding a shield because that Leaf Blade would have been super effective.
Does it get the attack boost? That could be absolutely decisive, but not yet. Icicle Sphere coming out from that. Walrein connecting with the shield on Andrew's side of the field, not ready to lose that Surfetch. That's, again, it has such a fantastic matchup against Axon's Pokemon, but going to be forced to invest so many of his resources just to keep it around on the field.
Controlling switch advantage comes at a great cost here as Surfetch does absorb both of those Protect Shields. But look at this, now out comes the Nidoqueen. If Surfetch can get 2 charge
Does
attacks
get a
here, Andrew
huge
might get more
deny,
value back out of this Pokemon
which
than he
means
does
that
today.
There's
they'll
that
be able
first
to
charge move.
reach
It's gonna be a Leaf Blade, no shield on Axon's side of the
reach
field.
another
That
Leaf
will
Blade,
do
which will
neutral
throw in the
damage. It'll bring
shield.
it down into the yellow, but still, all things are good here. But
Or-
the
or
second
they'll-
charge
or they'll
move, it
sack
looks like,
him.
again, that Surfetch beating the Nidoqueen to the Poison Fang will meet with the shield, and now it is Nidoqueen's turn to attack, but a great switch from, oh, that's just a knockout from Andrew. Great opportunity to switch, but unfortunately Surfetch is off the field.
And
Now we
this
see the
doesn't
Nidoqueen is just
KO.
so adept at applying debuffs. Does this Earth Power apply a defense drop to the Sableye? Let's find out. No defense drop. Sableye switches
And
out
we
though. Here comes
see,
Registeel versus
huge,
Lickitung. Lickitung is on the field, Gabby, but this is a very tough matchup for the normal type.
It is that Registeel almost at the Focus Blast. It looks like that was what Andrew was playing for. First, this Body Slam will connect. It's not
I
very
think you,
effective, and unlike
zap
the other
King
games, there's no
first,
chance of
right?
paralysis or anything funny. It's just raw
Reduce
damage.
the
Andrew, though,
attack
switching
just to
his approach here,
preserve
going
more
for
of
that
your
Zap
Reggie.
King instead.
It's one Zap
Broken
King,
debuff
one
still will
Focus
do some
Blast KO
damage
anyway,
but
so
more importantly, protecting that Registeel, just trying to give it as much health as
honestly,
possible
2 Zap
because it is
Kings
going to
almost KOs
struggle
anyway,
against that Shadow
so.
Nidoqueen in the back.
You're exactly right. Some trainers at home might not.
You wanna
be
farm
able
up a
to
little
invest
bit?
and throw the super effective charge attack, but applying that debuff reduces the
Yeah,
effectiveness
it's
of the
gonna
body
farm
slam.
up.
It reduces
Okay,
the
not
limit
gonna
damage
farm
as
up
well,
at
and
all.
it sets up Registeel to have a larger health pool as it moves into this final matchup against the Nidoqueen, which could be pivotal. Maybe this Registeel can be enough to take out the Nidoqueen as well and secure this matchup.
Well, it's going to be tough because that Registeel no longer has energy available to it, and Andrew
And then
keeping
we're
it
gonna see
safe
the
in the
foul
back.
play
That
here.
Sableye
Yeah,
having the
nicely
charge
done.
move queued up and foul
Andrew
play.
going
Will
up
he end
2 to
killing
1
the Shadow Nidoqueen and
versus
put
its
Andrew up
Axon.
2 to 1 in this first set of grand finals. He is 1 win away from resetting this bracket.
One win away from
But
resetting the
Andrew,
bracket, and
again,
Sableye has been
I
absolutely
think it's
key.
stronger
That
as the
Pokemon keeps
tournament
showing up, and
progresses.
it keeps creating problems for its Axon in these final moments of the
And
battles.
we
Maybe
see
Andrew's trying to
Andrew
get
in
Axon back
a.
down.
Honestly, it could have been 3-0.
I feel
It could have been
kinda bad
3-0
for Sableye on
if
the
Andrew
stage
played
staring
a
down.
little
You know,
bit
Logan
more
trying to maybe
precisely.
throw a little interference in
Didn't
there,
play.
but, certainly
It's
a
honestly
little
just
bit
like
intimidating.
minor
But,
mistakes.
You know, one thing I find interesting, and maybe you can provide some insight for all of y'all at home. You know, but for
Axon to style 5.
finals,
Walrein jumps.
that's
Okay.
something interesting. For this Lickitung into the Swampert, which I think Surfetch is happy to stay in on. No, it's a revolving door of Pokemon as Walrein takes his place.
Walrein jumps into the battle here, but Surfetch does have great tools to deal with Swampert as well. But this Swampert did get a lot of energy, so was that switch out a little bit unnecessary? Should he reach for the Walrein earlier?
I don't know, and if you think about it, that Surfetch had a Leaf Blade and Night Slash
Yeah,
available to it
you'll
as
see
well.
here.
Switch out.
This is
It's a
what
revolving
makes
door of here in the
For a
it's
grand
actually so good.
finals, again, instant
Like,
switch for this
tried to
Lickitung
catch
into
the Hydro.
Swampert,
How many people
which
would throw the
I think
Hydro
Surfetch
here?
is happy to
So
stay
many
in on.
people would
It's a
throw the
revolving door
Hydro,
of Pokemon as Walrein takes his
recognizing
place.
loses
Walrein jumps into
CMP,
the
and
battle
that
here, but
there's
Surfetch
potential
does have
switch as
great
well.
tools to deal with Swampert as well. But this Swampert did get a lot of energy, so was that switch out a little bit unnecessary? Should he reach for the Walrein earlier?
I don't know, and if you think about it, that Surfetch had a Leaf Blade and Night Slash available to it as well when Andrew made the switch. We'll be taking a
And
lot
then
of damage from
energy
Hydro,
on,
and Icicle Sphere will be firing back. I think this Walrein will
honestly,
eventually
you gotta
get a
let this
knockout
go.
here, but Andrew
You gotta
forced
let
to
this
use the
go.
shield if he wants it to be from the wall range.
This is a really
Okay.
tough call. Andrew
All
decided
right.
to invest
I
in the protect
don't
shield there. It's
love
very
this
risky
play
to know
here
if you're
because
going to
then
survive that Hydro Cannon
the
attack.
energy
This
is
is just
too
so
good
powerful.
on
It kills the
Lickitung
Lickitung, though. You see
versus
Lickitung just absorb
Surfetch.
charge attack after charge attack, and it looks like it's going to have to absorb 2 Icicle Spears. Now the difference here is Lickitung comes out with energy. Does that flip this matchup now that it's back on the field?
I would assume so. I mean, having access to that energy and having the ability to take away your opponent's shield advantage, as Andrew is up 2-1 right now, is going to be really, really important. You know, looking at the switch timers as well, both these trainers have the ability to switch once these Pokemon
You
are
gotta
knocked
leaf
out.
blade
So
it.
yes, even though wall rain is removed, if Andrew sends in that
You gotta
Surfetch,
no shield
Axon can
the.
immediately switch, and then Andrew can switch as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
Versus
So
if
I
the Body
didn't
Slam
love
come
that
in
play
from the
there.
Lickitung, maybe trying to force Andrew to use that last
It
shield
was
to
not
invest
able
in
to
that
throw the
Surfetch, but
move,
not
and
this
then
game.
it
It's
was
not
able
a
to
knockout.
switch and get the
Leaf blade
poison jab
caught
through.
by the Shadow Nidoqueen and the Protect Shield.
Here you gotta switch over right
We're going
away.
to save
So
that
I'm
with
not
HP.
sure
We've seen those shields be very pivotal.
why
Actually,
he
Andrew switched
stayed
up
there.
now
He
to
was
Sableye.
confused by the
This is a great
animation.
breeding call
So
by Andrew.
in my opinion,
Poison and ground type appear
that
here.
was
No resist the Poison Fang, and then
makes
no
a
shield
huge
as well.
call
Great
here
by Andrew
by
again,
no
back to
shielding.
back, making all the right decisions in the latter half of this game.
Yeah, I don't think there was enough time really for Axon to find that Earth Power. It might have been maybe a second too soon. A second Poison Fang, though, will ensure the stabilized defenses are low enough that those fast moves will be doing, you know, I think the primary amount of damage for this Nidoqueen here on out. But those Shadow Claws as well, doing a fantastic job, forcing Axon to use that last shield to keep that Nidoqueen around. It looks like he's not looking for that Lickitung to be the win condition at this point.
It looks like, oh my goodness, oh, it looks like Sableye triggers the CMP event, gets to do the foul play here. It's Axon, has to grimace a little bit because that was a tough thing to lose in that charge move priority exchange. Nidoqueen faints, in comes Lickitung, no protect shields remaining for its Axon. Andrew seems to be in control, but Surfetch is low in HP. Can it reach a move, or is it going to get licked down by the
definitely
Lickitung
cannot
and
reach a move
Surfetch?
there.
So quick, it's so
And
quick, but Axon
honestly,
able to tie up this.
that lag there, in my opinion, was costly enough. They probably decided not to rematch only because the Nidoqueen decided to shield anyways, right? So it kind of like evened out. But the Nidoqueen getting this one poison jab off on this Surfetch because of the weird switch here. Like, okay, we see right here.
Axon can immediately switch,
Let me
and
just
then Andrew
speed
can
this,
switch as
slow
well.
this down.
First, we're seeing the body slam
So
come in
you can see
knocked
here,
out. So yes, even though wall
the
rain
charge move
is
didn't come up
removed,
for
if
Andrew.
sends in that Surfetch, Axon can immediately switch, and then Andrew
Didn't
can
have
switch as well.
yeah. This is very
First, we're seeing
strange.
the body slam come in from the Lickitung, maybe trying to force Andrew to use that last shield to invest in that Surfetch.
And then
but
we'll see
not
here,
this game.
they got the
It's not a
switch
knockout.
and 2 poison
Leaf
jabs
blade
off.
caught by the Shadow Nidoqueen and
Yeah,
the Protect
and then this
Shield.
end up staying for some reason. Maybe didn't see the sees as Lickitung still, and then switches there. In my opinion, that's a justifiable rematch because it was a visual glitch that you couldn't see. Thought it was Lickitung. End up taking like 2 extra. Well, the shield doesn't matter, right? Because they end up shielding. But ended up being really costly for Andrew, and but it's fine. I think they discussed for a little bit.
If you recall that.
They discussed for a little bit, and then they're actually just going to move on to game number 5. In my opinion, that was rematchable, but Andrew probably elected not to rematch it. It kind of sucks in that, like, such an important game, such a good game, that they played it that way.
But no shield from this Azumarill.
Lickitung lashing out here with the power whip, trying to deal some super effective damage to that Azumarill as it continues to gather energy. Maybe anticipating a switch out.
This
and
wall
just
rain
the
is
last
like
moment to
super
throw
nice in the
Slayer off.
back.
As we've seen before, Lickitung can withstand a lot of damage, and this is no exception.
Yeah, but still, this damage is really going to start adding up on both these Pokemon, and I'm very curious if we're going to see an instantaneous switch, but instead, this Azumarill finding the second play rough right before that Lickitung found the second Power Whip. No shield from Axon. It's going to be close, but it misses that knockout. I think this Power Whip will be enough to pick up that KO, and using the opportunity not only to get extra energy, but also going for that Body Slam.
Going for the body slam here again, managing the energy, being so judicious with the deployment of his energy, and goes for the lick all the way down. Lickitung doesn't have any HP left, but does he have the Power Whip loaded? We're about to find out.
He's
Oh,
going
he
for it,
does!
and he gets it. He gets the
And
Power Whip against
Andrew
the
making
Sableye.
it.
No shield from
It's actually
Andrew.
making a nice call,
Probably
realizing the
catch
Power
that
Whip was the
wall
right move
instead,
against
but
every
still,
Pokemon
knowing
here.
how problematic Sableye has been for Axon, every little bit of damage counts. Swampert out on the field for Axon. Sableye taking the opportunity to get some energy
Oh,
in, but the
no.
swap into wall range.
Tried to catch there again, but it's Axon just playing really, really well.
So cool and calm and collected, throws a Hydro Cannon bait here and still
This
gets the shield.
instantly goes into the
That wall range is
Nidoqueen,
very
into the
healthy,
wall
but a
range. That's
swap
so
from
crazy.
Axon into the Shadow Nidoqueen. Poison Fang is the move of choice. A bit of an interesting switch here as, you know, Nidoqueen, those defense drops are certainly going to be helpful, but it really will struggle to find the damage, whereas this Icicle Sphere is just going to do so much. Axon does have 2 of those shields, but he's not using them.
He's not using
And
them.
then
Going
gonna look to farm it down.
Just a couple of HP, but the Powder Snow freezes out the Nidoqueen. Here comes the Swampert. This is an Icicle Spear. We do see the shield get deployed here as well. Swampert needs to manage the energy perfectly to have a shot here.
All right, so Walrein, it looks like it's going to be able to find an attack
It's actually
prior to that mud bomb
making a
knocking it out,
beautiful
but
call
Swampert
here
getting the hydro
by
to attack first,
taking the
forcing
Icicle
last
Spear because
shield
it does
from
more
Andrew,
damage. It
and
does
this
less
you have
damage
to
than the
imagine
foul
this is gonna
play.
be the last shield from Axen, as there still is that Sableye in the back.
No shield on the Swampert. Its HP is low. He switches in the Sableye, throws the foul play. Now the question is, can Swampert get
Okay,
to a high
I don't know about this play here, to be honest. I think
Swampert
throwing
gets there. He
there,
fires this move first because the Shadow Claws do so much damage. Andrew kind of throwing his head back. He knows
throwing
what's coming. Does
there is a
Walrein have
mistake
enough?
because
It's gonna be so close.
would have
This is
been
the
able
moment
to
that
get
we decide
another
who will
Shadow Claw.
possibly be the champion
Oh
here,
my
and
goodness!
it's
And then we see a
Walrein.
tie.
Both
We
of
see
these
a tie.
Pokemon go down at the same time.
Yeah.
We are tied up in more ways.
Yeah, throwing there was a mistake on Andrew's side. It's obviously like I don't like was expecting the shield maybe, and then instantly was like, okay, I'm gonna throw the foul play. But you just had to go into Sableye and just go for fast moves, and then hope that you can farm down there.
Season 1, it is 2-2, and these
Both those, we just
But that was a really great match between those two.
spotlight
choice, but struggling in
corner my Willie.
taking games.
It's Axen in command.
Let's say it's game 5 of 5 of the North American International Championships Grand Finals.
And
Reggie Steele
Andrew
versus
running a
Medicham
really risky
are the
line,
games.
and then
It's Axen in command of this
it's
matchup.
Axen
He's
bringing the
going to do a lot of
Medicham in
counter damage.
finally.
Reggie's still reaching for that Zap Cannon just as quickly as it can, but it looks like maybe one. Oh no, the Medicham gets the psychic off first. Now this has some wild card potential. If that defense drop is triggered, counters do even more damage.
All right, not very effective, but no defensive drop. Instead, that Zap Cannon will be connecting. No shields in play as well. This Reggie Steele at such low health. Feels like that Medicham would be able to knock it out, but instead Swampert in Walrein. Again, these two water-type Titans facing off.
These Titans square off, but Walrein, as we know, is going to pace just a little bit quicker to these Icicle Spears, whereas the Swampert relies on that Earthquake to
And we
deal
see
any
a
meaningful damage.
shiny-
As you see that first one get fired, Swampert builds to the Earthquake, goes over the Earthquake, reaching for a charge attack here. Do those tendencies come into play here? Is this a bait? Is this an Earthquake? Let's find out. Andrew shields!
You have the shields, you gotta use them. They're not gonna roll over into the next set, and I love the call of that Earthquake here. Walrein
Okay, I
opting
would
for
like to
Icicle
see a
Spear
little
and
bit more
Swampert at
farm
such
there,
low health,
but
actually using a shield to try and not waste that energy that it's earned, but that Earthquake, it's there. He finds it.
Oh my
Is
goodness.
Andrew going to shield it is the big question.
As Axen has leverage, and he is turning up the pressure here, twisting with the Earthquake, and he
Ooh,
does
does a
land
huge
this one.
amount of damage
Walrein,
here.
it's a CMP event as well, which means all this energy is
And then
essentially spent.
you just gotta
Yeah, and that
okay.
Swampert, no more shields used on that Pokemon.
Do you expect the
It's just
Medi to
at
come
such
in?
low health that shield
Oh,
really
it's actually ends
advantageous,
up
but
being
they
the
do go on the
Walrein.
field. Shadow Walrein for its Axen, going to find that
Try to
Icicle
catch an
Spear
Icicle
and
Spear,
almost find that Earthquake,
but
more
man.
switching. Reggie Steele now out against the Medicham.
I really admire these counter swaps here because this keeps Medicham away
Oh,
from the
that's a
Sableye, which is in the
huge,
back. You gotta expect Andrew's going to try to win the battle with the Sableye. Now Medicham gets to avoid it.
And we see
Walrein
this
gets to make so
Walrein
much
just
energy.
absolutely
This
go
Community
off
Pokemon is
here.
going to rock through the rest of the
Actually
matchup.
doesn't choose to farm
You know,
down.
Ice, maybe Ice would be more appropriate given the typing. Ice
May-
will
could- probably could have farmed
really
down. Definitely
damage
could have
to
farmed
knock
down
out
there,
this Reggie
so,
Steele. And Andrew, that
um,
Walrein has just a sliver of health, but
Andrew
the
has to
Sableye
wait at the
is
clock
at full health.
completely.
One
Has
shield
to
left
catch the
both
move.
of these trainers.
Has
You
to
know,
catch
I
the
love
move.
seeing the Sableye here, as that does give Andrew the opportunity to swap in that Walrein later to act almost like a third shield.
I just wanted to offer a counterpoint. You said there was one shield left, but essentially that Walrein with virtually no HP can act as a second
You
shield.
gotta throw
It might
here.
be the lifeline that Andrew reaches
Man,
for as
if
that
we would've
timer
thrown
expires, but Shadow Walrein is
And
still
this
on the field. Don't get
EQ,
distracted. Here comes
like,
an
pretty
Earthquake.
much
Oh my
KOs.
gosh, this
It's
must have
actually
been
making a
1 or 2
really
seconds
nice
goal
play
difference.
here.
And that 1 or 2 seconds
Throwing
could
the
be
EQ right
difference between
beforehand.
the champion
Yeah.
and the
And it's gonna
title,
be
as
GG.
Walrein gets the knockout on Sableye, goes for an attack here, uses that last shield to block the Icicle Sphere. It's Axen,
Yeah.
mere seconds away from
Very,
becoming your
very
champion.
nice play on its Axon side. Tremendous play. Obviously, great play by Andrew there as well. Look forward to seeing both of them in London hopefully compete against them. A rematch versus its Axon, then a new matchup versus Andrew. So tremendous gameplay. Congratulations on the victory. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.